My journey with Ava started probably 4 years ago. I initially watched it, liked it, related to it. A lot of the stuff that they talk about depression really hit home. I was certainly depressed when I watched it, and I remember reading a comment, which is probably the reason why I picked up Ava, that it's better the more depressed you are, or if you just got out of a bout of depression. And that really rung with me. I rewatched Ava a day and a half ago. I have some confusion on how we got from episode 24 to 25, but as I understand it, instrumentality takes effect starting at episode 25 and ends at the end of 26 when Shinji rejects it. Before watching, when I finished it up, I skipped to episode 18 or something and just picked it up from there. I didn't want to rewatch it. I wasn't ready for that investment. But I finally rewatched it, and this time around, everything just sort of clicked. Nothing clicked before, and that's obviously because I was missing half of it and slept through like most of it. It was really grueling to get through, I'd say. But yeah, this time around, it just clicked. It was like so obvious to me. And I probably am regurgitating something that I digested before, like somebody's theory, but yeah, this is in 25 and 26. This is what the characters are feeling internally during instrumentality, sort of their conscious. It just makes perfect sense that EoE is what's happening physically and externally then. So internal versus external. No elaborate fan theories. It's just cut simple. That's mostly what I had to say before watching EoE. Is like, this is what's happening externally, so internally EoE is this, or vice versa. Sorry. I just finished EoE a day and a half ago. When I was writing this, it was seconds ago. I opened up my notebook, like, time to write. I had to say, wow. Wow. How I didn't understand what was happening the first time, I don't know. How I didn't pick up on any of this is kind of crazy to me. Everything is obvious to me now. Shinji chose Asuka at the end because that's what he was doing the last time we saw them both. Last time we saw them both, it was the coffee scene where Shinji gets coffee spilled on him and they're fighting. That's the last time we see them. And now this time we see him, he's choking her again after they wake up from instrumentality. She says, how disgusting, because she just went through the same mindfuck Shinji did. And knows all the disgusting things. That's why she strokes his cheek. She finally understands where he's coming from. It's both a scene of understanding, care, and pure disgust. Everything leading up to that is interpreted as what's happening physically to Shinji. Now, I think there'll be people that disagree that some of the things aren't physically happening, especially the part where we're seemingly in his subconscious as a child, as a young child, and also the real life part where they're showing scenes from real life. You can interpret this easily as what would be physically felt, because all the scenes are not formless. They have form. There's a scene, set, and setting to them. So what would be physically felt? And it feels very physical during all of it. It's all very formed and concrete, I would say. One thing that I noticed is there's shots from episode 25 and 26 that mirror shots in EoE. Not perfectly. They're not one-to-one matchups, but they're pretty suggestive, I'd say. Quite suggestive. And those are what I assume are little glimpses that are supposed to be the only parts that represent what's physically going on during 25 and 26. Since EoE wasn't planned until NGE ended, until after NGE ended. So they all take place at the same time and depict the same thing from different perspectives. Little note here, I think this kind of makes the loop theory, including the rebuild series, plausible as well. I don't want to get into it because that's like highly debated. So for now, that's just a little side note. It is not the main part of my argument, just something I think. One thing I see highly debated all the time is whether it's happy or sad. In those words as well. I don't think this is supposed to be interpreted as being either. It just is what it is. It probably isn't supposed to be interpreted as being either. Just the way that things are, you know. It just be like that sometimes. Of course, seeing only NGE's ending, I can see why someone would think that it's a happy ending. I don't think there's any debate there. It just comes off as positive, absolutely. But my point still stands. I don't think EoE is either happy or sad. I don't think it's depressing or any of that, you know. And my final thoughts, I understand and enjoy EVA way, way more because of the second viewing. Like I said, I don't know where I was at the first time, but this time around it was just a riveting experience, and I spent 2 days just binging it. It's awesome. Currently on the rebuilds. There's a lot to say about the rebuilds, so I'll get to that. Bye.